Hello all. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make up this video to show you me doing the final assembly stage build for one of my Volvo Ailsa Mark 1 Alexander AV type bodyworks from Lyle, obviously. So what I've done, I've sped up the film. It took me an hour to do the final build, just over an hour actually. So I sped up the video to save time, and I've done a bit of a voice audio as well to explain a wee bit about the weight synchronization regarding my scale models. You won't know what that is until I explain it better. So I'll let this video play on and hope you enjoy it. Okay, cheers, bye. So actually, when I mentioned it took me an hour to do the final build, I forgot to say that to actually build the model, you see, I build them or I design them, then build them from scratch using my own ideas. And it takes me days to do it, to build it. Sub-assembly the components first of all, make them into sub-assemblies like chassis assembly, floor pan assembly, upper deck floor pan assembly, roof assembly, driveline component assemblies, seat interior assemblies, interior light assembly. So I make them into assemblies. I've got to design them, make them into assemblies, and then when I've done all that, build them up, do a dry run to make sure it all fits. Then I take it all apart again, put into their final, put them into their assemblies, sub-assemblies. Then I tighten them up. I make sure all the parts are tight. I check everything over, and then once I've done that, I then reassemble it, and I call that reassembly the final stage assembly. So basically, in assembling it for the final time to complete the model. So this is what this video will be. It's the final stage assembly of my Volvo Ailsa Mark 1 Alexander AV type bodywork based off the Dundee Tayside bus fleet of Mark 1s. 107 to 141, 236 to 255 and 256 to 270. I base it off that because they weigh 9,302 kilograms, so I've set the weight synchronization for as close to that as possible. I'll explain more in the voice audio about weight synchronizations. The dimensional scale is 1 to 30. So 1 centimetre equals 1 foot. It's as close as I could get with Lego, so that's it. I've used it as close as. So 1 centimetre will equal 1 foot. And it's pretty accurate because the model comes in at 32 centimetres. Just, yep, near enough. Pretty much exactly 32 centimetres, which was about the same length, 32 feet, for the real bus, obviously. So I'm satisfied with that. Okay, I'll let you watch this fast moving video just to show you the final assembly stage. Okay, cheers. I have about 100 different Lego models, ranging from Arctic trucks to buses, vans and cars, built over many years. I have a list with all the dates when each model was designed and built by myself. The colours don't matter at all in my models. The colour schemes don't make any difference or are irrelevant. It's just the correct Lego parts that matter to me. The colours are only relevant for very limited purposes only, such as bus seat colours, external lights, number plates, and that's about it as far as colours are concerned. Possibly very few other circumstances where I deem it necessary to use colour schemes, like on a part of one of my production model prototypes, which will use a slight colour scheme somewhere on it to distinguish it from the other copies made from them. My Lego Volvo Ailsa Mark I Alexander AV type bodywork that happens to have the yellow like dome at the top front window. The yellow dome, it just happens to be yellow. That's the model that I just completed. That's the latest model. It normally takes me days to build a typical bus, truck, and models of similar size, because I always include to build in an engine, the driveline, the seats, interior lights, axle suspension, design and build some sort of Lego representative to represent these components. Chassis components, it's actually got a chassis, body to chassis methods, the methods used to connect the chassis, the Lego chassis to the Lego bodywork, and other chassis and bodywork auxiliary components are represented by Lego parts, various Lego parts I use to represent these components, auxiliary components. I always synchronise the actual Lego model weights relative to each other to give a proportional weight scale. That's 117 grams for the Lego model will equal 1000 kilograms, which is 1 metric ton for the real model that it is copying. So basically, when you weigh one of my models, it will weigh so many grams. You would then divide that number by 117, and that will equal the number of metric tons that the model is representing. So 117 grams will equal 1 metric ton. A metric ton is 1000 kilograms. When I need to fine tune the weight, I discreetly use small coins out of sight and within the structure somewhere, hidden out of view and to cause no change to the overall look of the model. I tape the coins to prevent rattling. So when I lift the model up, it doesn't rattle around. You won't hear the coins rattling about inside where I've hidden them. I've got to spend ages while thinking it all out, designing it. For the weights, I use accurate kitchen scales to measure the weights, which are in grams. The models are of a dimensional scale of 1 centimetre equals 1 foot, which is a ratio scale of 1 to 30, or as close as you could get with Lego limits. So it's pretty close to a 1 in 30 scale. I use an accurate tape measure to do all the measurements. The wheel proportions are scaled. The wheel proportions aren't scaled because the size of wheels that Lego provide, I've just got to make do with them. I can't scale the wheels. I can't make the wheels. I can only build the models with the wheels that are available. So what I tend to do is use the big wheels for the big vehicles, buses and trucks, and the smaller wheels for the smaller vehicles, like cars and vans. The other two Lego Volvo Ailsa buses of mine are a few years older, so the other ones that you see in the pictures there they were built years before. The bigger squarer looking bus in my Volvo Alexander RV type bodywork. The bigger squarer looking bus is my Alexander RV type bodywork. So that's the type of bus that it's based off of Dundee Tayside Volvo Ailsa's Volvo Ailsas. They were fleet number 36 to 50 and registered HSR 36X to HSR 50X. These are my favourite buses anywhere, of any bus anywhere. So yeah, these were the buses that got me into buses, the 36 to 50 fleet. And in my models, they have the black Lego seats in them to represent the dark brown vinyl seats used. Again, the colour schemes is only used for very limited purposes. In this case, it was for the seat colours. I couldn't get dark brown seats, dark brown Lego to the exact colour, so I just used black to represent the dark brown from the Lego bus. And for the other one, the AV type bodywork that Tayside had, the Volvo Ailsa Mark 1s registered LES 44P to LES 48P, NSP 312R to NSP 341R, that's the 107 to 141 fleet. Then you had the SSN 236S to SSN 255S, which was a 236 to 255 fleet, Mark 1 S regs. Then you had the Mark 1.5 or Mark 1A, a later Mark 1 basically. They were fleet number 256 to 270 and they were registered WTS 256T to WTS 270T. And their weight, unladed weight, empty weight, were 9,302 kilograms. And the model that I built with the Alexander AV type bodywork will represent that type of bus, Mark 1, which the weight synchronization comes in at 1092 grams. So if you divide 1092 grams by a factor of 117, it will come up with 9.333 or nearabouts. Then you would times that by 1,000 to give you the scale weight of 9333 kilograms, which is as close as I would get to finally tuning it to the actual bus weight of 9302 kilograms. So I'm quite happy with that. Considering that Tayside had theirs at 9,302 kilograms, Mark 1 Volvo Ailsas with different companies may have had slight variations in it depending on ticket machines and other specifications that they decided to add. So I based mine off the Volvo Ailsa that Tayside had, which had the dark blue, well, fairly, not dark blue, but yeah, blue vinyl seats. So I used as close as I could get colour scheme with Lego for those seat colours to represent those seats. Anyway, I thought I would share some photos of my Lego models with you and presenting it in this video as a voice audio. So I'm just reading it off of here to try and explain a bit. There's a lot of factors that I could explain, but I'm just going to save that for later. Okay, thanks. Okay, hope you've enjoyed my video. Hope you found it interesting. And well, as I say, I've got about 100 odd models. I've built them for over many years. So all the models are built from different years. I've got a list of all the dates when I built them. I've probably got about, I've lost count. It must be near 100. So I've only shown you a very few. I've got lots of big vehicles. I've got small trucks, small cars, vans. I've got big buses and trucks. I've got other things I could show you at a later point, like when I finish with one model. When I finish with a model, I don't just take it apart by hand boringly. As you may be aware, I'm interested in the stock car banger racing. It's a form of motorsport. I love watching it. I've took part in it as well, many years ago. I've had my shots. And what they do is they get the old cars, and they do it with buses as well. They just crash them into each other, and demolition derby basically. So I have my own wooden reenactment, a wooden arena built to reenact that, and I use the old Lego models that are going to be replaced, or have been replaced, with a better one, instead of just taking them apart boringly. Then put them into the demolition derby and film it, and I don't put it online because I use copyright music. The music that they use at the stock car racing I use on my reenactments. But that I could maybe show you that later on, but I'd have to omit the music obviously. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for selecting it. Thanks for watching. Okay, right, cheers, bye.